Guam's most well-known football family is continuing to stay rooted in the sport today. Sons of the great House Shiroma are carrying on their father's football legacy by coaching the House Angels youth football teams, who won 3 of the 4 GNYFF titles just last season. From Buzzy to Ivan to Bill, Ty, and Blue, wherever there is football on Guam, the Shiroma family is never too far away. GSPN caught up with most of the Shiroma brothers as they shared a meal while taking a trip down the Angels' football memory lane.
Yeah, I don't know why you're having us on film. We're not too friendly. We see each other every day at practice. But I'll be honest with you, I'm tired of talking to them.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But I have to, coach the Angels, the little kids. So once in a while we talk. We don't always agree though, as far as calling plays. But I'm the one that always has to correct all of them. Because these guys are lacking in skills.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm here on vacation, so I rely on my brothers to supply me all the needs to get around and do what I need to do. But I'm here to help them coach and so forth. So I'm the one who has to walk in humility since I'm the outsider of the Howley. So I'm all good.
1983. Since 1983.
That'd be 35 years. I think I know because I was playing at the time, but I know that my dad was coaching the Eagles, and the Eagles dominated for 10 years, undefeated, 100-some games in a row. And my dad felt that the league was it was dying because everybody would play for the Eagles and nobody wanted to play against them. They were so dominating. Kenny, your brother, and all of us here played for the Eagles. Maybe you might have one team that gives us competition, but to keep the league going, my dad went up to Dedido from Tumuning to form the House Angels. And when he did that, I think he was, the wisdom there allowed the league to grow even more, because now we gave the Eagles competition, but not in the midget division. The Eagles were the same kids that he coached when they were little kids. It was hard to beat them, but eventually we beat them in the lower division. But it was a way of pruning and building the league. I think it's natural, Patrick. What happens is, we're old football players. What do? You enjoy the game so much, and the secret to success is to pass on your knowledge to the kids. And my dad did the same thing, and nobody paid him $1. He did it because he loved to do it. When you're under his tutelage, you do the same thing because he did it, and you love the game. I can't keep playing football, but I can teach it, and it's really fun with my brothers involved in that.
Brother Blue?
No, we finally got everybody to coach. My dad always wanted all of us to play together, but circumstances didn't allow that. We're just different. Some of us were in college, some were in high school. So I guess the next best thing, since he's our biggest inspiration, right, is to coach all together. And finally, all my brothers are coaching. Finally, because usually for a long time it was, I think, Ty or just me. Like these two guys were gone for a while, were busy with life or career. So now we're all coaching, and it's a good thing.
I think for me, Patrick, I don't like teaching the little kids because their attention span is very short. I teach the 13 to 15-year-olds, and those are the guys I can discipline and scold and teach them the game of football. But when you see in the Manha division kids running around and following butterflies, that's not for me. I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, so Bill is the one we sent to take care of the Mona division, those kids that with the short attention span. So Bill coaches them since he's the oldest. Let him coach the youngest one. Then Blue coaches the Metcut. And then me, Buzz, and Ty, we do the Matua.
I don't have a choice. No, but when I first I came back to Guam in 2009, I think the league just started up again, and I was coaching defense. I couldn't commit the time. When you coach offense, you got to be there every day, so I couldn't do that, and I just started my job back in Guam. So I kept coaching defense, and I was watching the other coaches. There was some, they're all right coaches, but man, I used to sit in the back like, dude, what is this guy doing? And this is my father's team. I felt that I could do better than them. I just didn't have the time. So eventually, I ended up committing to coaching offense, and I've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years now.
You're saying that you could do better than us, is what you're saying?
No, you guys were coaching. I was coaching defense for Medgate.
Yeah.
The Medgate division, which is the 10 to 12-year-old division. And there was other coaches that are former Angel players that were coaching. I just felt that I could coach better than them. I just didn't have the time to do it.
Oh, those guys, not us.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about how you could do better than us. Yeah.
Going back to Brother Bull, though, Bill, he's with the Manha division, but he's the one with the most patience. He's the oldest one. He has more wisdom than all of us put together. So, he can handle the kids. He has a good heart for that.
I think
I'm
it's
the
me.
one right here.
If you go by championships, I think it's me.
I beg to differ.
I think I've been coaching the longest.
I got the longest, of course I got the most championships. So that's in every level, from kids to high school to men's.
I don't have any championships, but I know all my players, they all come back right to me about all the good things that they, after going through my system. So we may not have won championships, but they tell me one is an Army Ranger, tried out for the SEALs, and
that's not the question though.
Making them more of a man, which is building the character, is what the Angels are all about. And so a lot of our kids, they all come back. If you notice, a lot of our players, these are generations of parents that we coached when they were kids. Now they're coming with their kids and grandkids. So the system is working somewhere, and I think I'm probably the head of the pack right now.
Oh. Well, he's right now, they're back-to-back champions in his division. And Bill has the 6-time Mana champions, 6 in a row. So we're on his case because he's been losing and tying his last 2 games. And where we want to keep that streak going, the seven championships in a row in the Mana division.
I think, Patrick, a lot of us, like my brothers here, we talk about weakness and strength on each division. Every time after a game when we see something, like all our ends are not boxing, they don't have the critical skill to contain and keep the other team within a certain area, and they're running outside of our teams. We talk with our brothers and we design practices and for them to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So we talk about weaknesses and strength among ourselves, so we get stronger as the season goes on. So it's not how you start, but it's how you end this season. And our teams are always peaking. Most of the time, we're stronger at the very end. We win most of our games at the end. Me, I think so.
Ivan
and Blue.
Yeah.
Ivan and Blue?
Their passion gets out of hand sometimes, but it's all part of our the house Shiroma mystique. I think it's evenly divided, I guess.
I don't think so. I think when my dad started coaching, he stayed with me coaching my division, and he followed me from the youth football to Father Dueñas, and then I left to college. But all through that time, I've learned all the techniques that whether it be blocking or certain plays, I don't forget it, and it sticks, and I just pass on the same thing to our players. So I pick it up from my dad, a lot of his techniques, and so I was there every step of the way when he was growing and being very successful.
So yeah, he's the favorite.
Fuzzy's the favorite?
Yeah.
Who's the second favorite?
Blue.
Ivan. Oh, Blue, yeah.
Blue because he's the youngest. None of us ever kissed our dad, only Blue.
Yeah.
Buzz.
No.
Yeah. Buzz is the.
No, I became a Christian, Pat. I'm not going to say the words that he says. There's a lot of expletives. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so
Oh,
many.
No.
gosh.
I remember.
So Angels is only
Man,
35
If you want to
years.
start at FD, there's a lot of business
I
people.
know from the Eagles.
Yeah,
From the Eagles.
start with the Eagles. But I know when he was already at his latter stage, he estimated about 30,000 at that time. But remember now, he planted the foundation, and so we've basically carried it on. A lot of the football leagues was because my dad stuck with it, and there were other teams that came and their players played with us going off island. So there's a lot of camaraderie, and a lot of kids have nice things to say based on his influence on them. Maybe like Bo would be, like with one sentence I would say, in terms of football, he was probably the best quarterback. When I say quarterback, I'm talking about throwing, passing. He
Timing.
he had the
Football
best
knowledge.
IQ for that. As far as running, terrible runner. Bill cannot run.
He's like Tom Brady,
Yeah,
Pretty
but
well.
his
you're right.
passing is
you're right. Bo was like Tom Brady.
same kind of passing. But
I just remember growing up, Ty's always been the quarterback. Buzzy was all around. Ivan was all around as well. It's just that Buzzy was around. And then Bill was the quarterback. You know, I just playing football. It was just a way of life, you know. My dad's always doing it. We're always there. We're around it, around the games. And that's why, and I think back to the Angels and our organization, I feel why we're successful. I think all those years of being with my dad and playing sports and being with all the different teams, all the plays we've been exposed to, we've been able to take what works, and then we carry those plays forward. Obviously not all the plays work, you know what I mean? So we do that, and I think that's one of the reasons why the Angels are so successful.
I think if I were to give one word for all my brothers is the competitive nature, and I think one of our biggest highlights I think is situational type football psychology. Like many times we dig into from the footing, the leverage, the body stance, and so forth. And I don't think most people go through that kind of stuff. Like I was just explaining to the Matua players this week. I said, after the games, when I was driving home with my father, the game didn't end. He was already, as soon as we got into the car, scolding me for things that I did wrong and so forth, what I could have done to do better. Most people don't go through that. Even when I played high school ball, I would wake up in the morning, he'll give me a play to run, first play, second play in the game, because we had a lot of Eagle players that played with me, so we could, so it's that type of thing that I think we're above and beyond the average person when it comes to this game. So, and I think that's, it translated into the overall success that we have as the Angels.
I think my mom's she's kind of like our main supporter. She's been there from the very beginning, right next to my dad. My dad took care of the football team, the strategy, defense, offense. My mom took care of the cheerleaders and usually the finances. So she's kind of like one of those persons where she's just there. When you look back, she's still there. You look right now, modern times, my mom is still there. Look underneath the hut, you'll see her there. We're out on the field coaching the kids. It's very important to see the matriarch of football. She's still here. Yeah, so yeah, she's a strong sign. She gives us stability in our team.
Hit it, Ivan.
She just keeps me in check with the money that we have for the Angels.
My mom has always been a great support, having a parent that's there since day one. While my brothers were in line, and then when I came along and started playing and so forth. So to have that parental support is always it's a great foundation and a sign of stability within the household. You know, many times my dad took care of the discipline, but you know, my mother's not one that when you get out of hand, she'll let you know right off the bat that she's not one to, you know, back off. So she's just been an absolute support for in my eyes.
I agree with what my brothers are saying. I don't think we give her much credit, enough credit for being in the background. Like, yeah, we're coaches, but she makes sure everything's in check as far as the organization and the funds and making sure nobody's taking advantage of our organization. So she definitely means a lot to us.
I haven't thought of that.
Well, I'm not thinking of passing my duties to anybody. I'm going to do this because I enjoy this. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy dealing with the kids. So I can understand what my dad enjoys. He enjoys teaching the kids this game of football. It's a discipline, and you know. But this discipline is not just a game of football. It's about life. It's about being responsible. It's about hard work, you know. And it gives the kids a model. You don't know how many kids. I mean, we have not even like Bob Solis, our supporter from Windward Memorial. You know, he'll tell you that my dad was a father figure for him in a time of his life in high school where he felt he didn't have that fatherly figure. He would always come and tell me, and that feels good. You know, you got somebody saying, hey, you know your dad? Man, he was a dad to me. That's why I love your dad. So, you know, I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue teaching. And I instill Christian values too with our kids. We tell our kids that we play the game of football to glorify God. You know, we pass it on to the kids. We give them a model and we give them something to do so they're not out there joining gangs or shoplifting. They've got models, people, coaches to look up to. And we're going to keep this up as long as we can.
As far as the field, right, that's my job. My job is to take care of like a maintenance guy. So my plans for the future is to try and modernize with the amount of funds that we generate, modernize that field and create a second field, a practice field in the bottom.
Nice.